Christian, you don't like that? I don't like that. My son 80 is 7. Chris oversees a lot of our emergency repairs. This is another expert sewer truck. It's all emergency sewers. He's the senior engineer that manages all that work. So his team, he doesn't necessarily get the call, but his team gets the call from the middle of the night. That's a lot. That's all our responsibility. He does a really good job. I think you have a contract that or with a quarterly report. Yeah. That's one thing I was talking about in the report before. Yeah. He's 22, 18. Yep. Time's flying. Yeah, it does. I'm just talking about this thing, and I realized it's been like 19 years since I was there. Wow. Or it will be later. So how long have you been there? 20 years. Oh yeah. No, I mean since I left. I was on the public works building already. I started in 2006. No, you actually started before I did. Right before my dad. You were at
Good morning, Laura FM. What items would you like to speak on today?
Good morning. General public comment and all agendas, please.
Okay, thank you.
There's 7 copies of each of these. So one is my complaint from 2019 that I never got handled. And then this is an open letter that someone sent. I don't know who. They copied all of these people.
So this goes together?
Yes.
Okay, that's one. Got it. Okay, thank you. Good morning, President Kang. We are now in record mode.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Friday, July 31st, 2026. Ms. Reyes, please take roll and establish quorum.
Yes, President Kang, Vice President Chavez, Commissioner Mitchell, President Pro Tem Grant, Commissioner Cardenas, and we have quorum, and we are joined today by Thomas Costello Vega with City Attorney, and I am Sandy Reyes, and I will be facilitating today.
Thank you very much. So before we take public comment, we do have one special presentation this morning. The Board of Public Works would like to honor Alfred Mata, who has served as our interim city engineer for the past year. And we wanted to recognize his service on behalf of the city. So we wanted to recognize Alfred, but before we bring Alfred up to the podium, I did want to invite our current city engineer, Crystal, if you and your team would like to make a few remarks.
Thank you, Commissioner President King, and good morning, Board of Public Works. Good morning, other city folk and staff. I wanted to acknowledge that we're here to celebrate someone who's really special to the Bureau of Engineering. Alfred, you've served for many decades in public service, and the amount of impact you've had on infrastructure and the leadership that you've provided to the Bureau has been outstanding. I specifically wanted to point out the effort that you put in your service for interim. It is an amazing task. I fully appreciate it, especially standing here right now. Your ability to provide that leadership and provide the expertise and the technical knowledge that you have, as well as just keep the stability for the Bureau and for the public, has been an amazing feat, and I really appreciate what you've done in that service. Personally, I remember when I first came on as the deputy city engineer, and we would go to lunch together, and I was exploring all the new downtown LA lunch spots. So I'm hoping to continue that tradition and really, continue our friendship. This has been an amazing experience because Alfred is such an amazing person, both professionally and personally, and I'm glad to call him a friend. But I do appreciate all the city service specifically that you've put forward, and I appreciate that we are going to continue that friendship and that effort. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. Mary Nemec, Director of Communications at the Bureau of Engineering. I'm actually going to read something from Deborah Weintraub, our recently retired Chief Deputy City Engineer who's traveling on the East Coast, which is what retired people do, right? So she left us in January, but she says, Alfred, I'm so sorry not to be there in person for this well-deserved board acknowledgement. I had the privilege, I being Deborah, of working with Alfred for most of my 25 years with BOE and witnessed the unwavering commitment to the employees and work of the city. He has led with humility and with respect for the talented professional staff of the Bureau who deliver complex city projects every day and work tirelessly to better the city with reduced resources and while being understaffed. Throughout his career, he has undertaken multifaceted engineering projects and analyses that have utilized the diverse skill sets of engineering and is a deeply skilled and experienced project deliverer. As an interim city engineer, he was accessible and thoughtful, an advocate for all of us and a welcome partner. He values the people who work for him. He lifts them up. He doesn't bring them down. I want to personally thank Alfred for filling the role of interim city engineer and would have loved to have been there in person. And just a word from me, Alfred, thank you so much for being an amazing boss and for appreciating the work that we all do.
Good morning, all. Bert Mokelbus, Deputy City Engineer, Development Services and Permits. And I got asked to say a couple of words. I'm like, y'all want me to speak publicly? No, I got you. So I've known Alfred for about a quarter century. That just sounds wrong on so many different levels. But when we started off playing softball with the LA Engineers versus San Fran Engineers, we both are the original players on the team. A lot has changed, but we're still the OGs, if you will, and use that as an example to start off things. He's was a solid player. he stepped up to be the solid manager, took on everything, and just kind of ran everything as it needed to be done. We all said that we got you, no questions, no problems. As I came in as deputy city engineer, we had a lot of changes in exec in the past couple of years, and he took me kind of under his wing, and everything was moving on. We had Gary as a city engineer, then we had Ted as a city engineer, and then we had a gap. Alfred again stepped into the gap, and everything ran smoothly. All of us at the exec and the rest of the bureau said, we got you. Smooth, no questions, no comments, moving in the right direction. Could not ask for any change in leadership direction. He's been awesome as an interim city engineer. He's been awesome as a deputy city engineer. He's been awesome as everything that I know. I'm proud to call him as a good friend. Thanks.
Good morning. Patrick Schmidt. I've been the acting deputy city engineer for engineering service program for the last 19 months. And I've had a front row seat to observe Alfred's incredible commitment, energy, and time that he has poured into his role as the interim city engineer. On full display every single day was his deep dedication to the city of Los Angeles and the Bureau of Engineering. It was impressive and inspiring to witness. My appreciation for Alfred goes back even further. Previously, I had the pleasure of reporting to him when he was the deputy city engineer of the engineering services program. During that time, I was exposed to his kindness, vast knowledge, level-headedness, and intense patience. You have to have when you're working with me, you have to have patience. Alfred, thank you for your mentorship and support over the years and your leadership of the BOE over the last year. I know Crystal and Bert already said it, but thank you for your friendship.
Good morning. My name is Richard Louie, a deputy engineer with the Bureau of Engineering. I've had the pleasure of directly working with Alfred much closely in the past 6 months, given the convention center, but I first met Alfred more about 15 years ago. I was in a different division than him. We weren't working directly together, but he took the initiative to say hi to me and start a conversation. And that stuck with me, that gesture, because we weren't in the same division, we weren't colleagues, but he took the time to just stop by and say hi. He eventually promoted to a deputy city engineer, and I promoted to different divisions. Periodically, I'd report to him. And something that stood out to me, Alfred, when we would meet with you is that you would often share stories, and you would start the stories with, I remember a time when, I don't know, for you, those of you who've been around Alfred, he will share stories periodically. And I really appreciated that because that vulnerability, as well as the sharing of knowledge, just helped it feel more like a team discussion versus I was reporting up to the big boss, right? So I was a part of the division and he was the big boss over the program. But then as I've had a chance to get to know Alfred over the past 7 months and his leadership over the past year, it's been just amazing to really get to know him even more. I think the depth of his knowledge, the strength of his leadership, the collaboration that he brings to the team. I've also seen just how Alfred is, going back to the first time I met him, introducing himself to me and saying hi, is a personable person and a man of character. And I think it's just been impressive over the past year how he has led the Bureau. In a time of great transition between city engineers, I just really want to thank Alfred for your leadership and the stability, and as well as everybody else has said, the friendship that you have provided for me and for the Bureau. So thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Eric Bruins. I'm the Director of Strategic Initiatives. I oversee our government affairs, and I had the opportunity to work so closely with Alfred over the last year. His calm demeanor and even hand really was exactly what the Bureau needed during a year of transition. And so as everybody has really mentioned all those points, but truly your temperament, your even keel, it kept the machine running, and the organization is such a big machine, and the fact that we kept running and really kind of uninterrupted because it was entirely because you stepped up and to the plate and really just kept it going. As everybody said, your warmth and your care for the people at BOE, in addition to the organization, really shine through. I appreciated hearing countless stories about the renovation of Echo Park Lake over lunches over the past year as well. And I look forward to continuing to work with you as you continue your service on the executive team. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. My name is Robert Katamatsu. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for the Bureau of Engineering. Serving on the executive team for the last 16 years, I just want to tell Alfred face to face, I appreciate and thank you for your commitment, the lengthy process, the lengthy time it took while you were interim city engineer, and your professionalism in dealing with so many different things until we could get to this point in time where we have a new city engineer. I truly appreciate his steadiness, his calm demeanor, and his ability to work with anybody and everyone. I really took notice of the way he is very detail oriented toward projects and how we work together not only with the commissioners but with the council members and the mayor's office to get our projects done. Everybody else has already said so many other things. I'll just say something financial since I am the CFO. I'll just say that we started the year a little rough when Ted retired. And then last fiscal year, we had a dark cloud over us on our budget, everybody's budget. We had budget reduction exercises, but at the end of the day, at the end of last fiscal year, we ended within budget, not overspending a dime in our budget. So I just want to tell Alfred, thank you very much for your leadership, and our bureau made it through last year. So hopefully we'll do the same for this year. Crystal. Thank you.
Good morning, President Kang, Commissioner, and Board of Public Works Representative. Alfred, congratulations and well-deserved recognition. And I want to say, you know, I worked with Alfred for a while. How many years? I can't remember. Been a long time. He was my deputy from other division, other program, but mostly I want to say, you know, Alfred, you know him. He's a very calm person, you know, listen carefully, listen to what you say, you know, and very skillful leadership, you know, provide leadership, and you know, you guided through a very difficult budget year last year, I gotta say, you know, and we did get the budget that, you know, we probably can live with, but still, you know, calm and Gaia, very skillful, and the leadership, you know, treating this difficult time, you know, will make the Bureau better. I know Crystal will do a wonderful job in the future, and we'll put in the foundation for that. And congratulations, well deserved. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So before we turn to our commissioners, I did want to recognize we do have quite a bit of visitors this morning. Our KYCC Summer Youth Program is in the back with OCB. Thank you all for visiting City Hall and for your service this summer. All right, now I want to provide an opportunity for our commissioners to provide their remarks. President Pro Tem Grant, would you kick us off?
When I was thinking what I was going to say about you, Alfred, usually we talk about the professionalism, the intellectual acumen, the competence, but for you in this instance, I think it's important to look at the position you held over the last year. Interim chief is probably one of the most difficult positions in any organization to fill. You've got a relatively unclear authority. There's some staff confusion about what's going on. There's a strategic paralysis, if not stalled programs. Are you overstepping your bounds? Yet you came into this position with, as has been relayed before, this sort of modesty and equanimity about approaching it. Yet there was a clarity of the briefness and understanding of your role and being able to operate within it. There's a skill and judgment pacing that's critical to this as opposed to a permanent position. There's a communication authority, which you excelled at in terms of letting everyone understand what's going on. And there was an emotional intelligence under pressure that I think impressed all of us. And I think we were so fortunate that the way you filled this role, expanded it, and lived it, and enabled engineering and public works to continue. And I think we owe a great debt of gratitude, and those skill sets If you could write them up and give them to me, like later or something, to use, it's just very impressive, and I want to thank you for your tenure there.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Mitchell.
It's not even on. Remember that commercial? I think it was Ray Charles back in the day. Sorry about those of you who were not around, but it was like, you got the right one, baby. You were the right one. At a time when the city's history, when you think about it, we just had this devastating wildfire. We're sitting up here trying to figure out what do we need to do to put that portion of the city back together. And we had this long-term range planning for the Palisades. You coordinated that, you presided over that. And I remember one of the first encounters we had was in this boardroom when there was a contractor who had said he hadn't been paid back to 2016. I don't remember, it was a long time as I remember. And you and I are texting, it's like, oh, he came back in the room, he's right behind you. You helped out from the biggest to the smallest. And with the self-esteem and the respect that, this is a crowded boardroom, I would say. That's why these folks are here, because they hold you in high esteem and they respect you. And I can remember a few days before Christmas last year when we met you and your family at the at the park beneath the 6th Street Bridge. That was a special time, because right around the holidays, you want to really kind of be at home and enjoying with your family, but here you are, proud to show a 12-acre park that the city is building under, another great project by BOE and the rest of the city. So that's who you are. And then you told me about the San Francisco softball game, going back to what, the 20s, the 30s, between Public Works in San Francisco and the city of Los Angeles. When they come down here, we want to be there, so let us know. The humility, the humbleness that you have, it shows in the work that you do and your interactions that you've had with all of us. And so it's not over, but we thank you for your service at a very difficult time in the city's history. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you. Alfred, I was just trying to think of all of the nice words that your colleagues have talked to you about, and I was trying to think of one word that would describe all of that, and the word I could come up with was genuine, because you just saw this temporary promotion or this temporary position as, this is part of my job, this is what I do, and this is what I'm going to continue to do. So just being you and not letting it change you was something that, for me, meant a lot, because it could have, some people can take it different ways when they have this position, but you just said, all right, I'm accepting it, and I'm going to continue doing what I do best, and thank you for doing that, and continue to be the same genuine person that you are. Congratulations.
Thank you. Vice President Chavez.
Thank you, Alfred. You served in this interim capacity for the past year, and that's never easy. You're carrying all the responsibility of the role and zero of the certainty. And you did that with distinction and professionalism and grace. And I think that you did it knowing that your job was to keep the ship steady for whoever comes next. So I know Crystal will be appreciative of that. And I think, for me, what stood out the most about how you comported yourself in the role is your quiet leadership. It's the kind that doesn't make headlines. You're working, you're setting the example for everyone in the Bureau, and it doesn't necessarily make headlines. But that's who you are. You're about doing the work and mentoring the next generation. As we've heard, your decades of work in the Bureau, really speak to how many folks that you've worked with and taught and mentored and helped, and that's the legacy. In addition to all the projects that engineering gets to work on. So I think that kind of longevity that you've had with the Bureau and that dedication to the city speaks for itself, and we are all very grateful, and we are looking forward to continuing to have you serve because we are very fortunate to have you, and you are a true public servant in every sense of the word, and on behalf of the board and the city, we thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Chavez. So, Alfred, I do want to say thank you once again. I think you took the helm during one of our most challenging times in our city's history. For those of you who are not familiar, when Alfred became our interim city engineer, this is several months after the Palisades. You've led us through the convention center. Richard was appointed during that time. And many of the folks that are here from the Bureau of Engineering are here because of you. And although it was a year, but a lot has happened over the past year, and a lot of major accomplishments here at our city. So as all the commissioners and our executive team from BOE has commented, thank you so much for your leadership during that time. And I know I speak for the mayor. She really did appreciate tremendously your leadership during that time. So thank you once again. I know you brought your family, and thank you. And to the family members, Alfred has meant the world to all of us in the past year. His leadership has really stepped up during a great deal of turmoil and uncertainty. So we want to thank him once again. And with that, we want to bring you up to the podium before we present you with the certificate.
Good morning, and thank you, excuse me, thank you to the board for this recognition and all the support you've provided me during the time I served as interim city engineer. And I want to thank you for the support you always continue to provide to this bureau and to all the employees of the Department of Public Works. I'm probably going to cut my remarks a little shorter because I think a lot of people said a lot of the good things that I wanted to remark about over the last year, particularly the challenges that we faced. Because I definitely want to thank the Bureau of Engineering staff who supported me with all the good work that they've done during this time. At the end of this year, I've been working for the Bureau of Engineering for 33 years, which has been a great 33 years. Over all those years, I've always been very fortunate to work with very good, quality, talented, technically smart people everywhere I worked in the Bureau, everywhere I worked in the department. And I certainly couldn't have done what I did in this role without the team of the Bureau of Engineering behind me to rise to the challenge. From my executive assistant, Erica, who helped navigate my calendar and deal with all of the things that come across the city engineer's desk, to the entire executive team, who just about everybody, I think everybody spoke here. I really appreciate all of the support that they provided to me. In addition to, I know you work with Roman and Amelia, who's also part of our executive team. I know they've personally expressed their thanks and appreciation to me as well. I appreciate all of the management team. Curtis spoke on behalf of them. I know several other managers are here today as well that manage all of our divisions and all of our staff that, again, faced all the challenges that you enumerated, the Palisades fire, the response to that, the recovery effort that we've been leading, the support of Executive Directive 9 objectives, the capital improvement program that we're supporting the mayor's office on, and the development of different tools associated with that, the Alley 28 games-related projects that we've taken on and are leading and delivering on time at this point, in anticipation of the games. And you mentioned the convention center, another big challenge. We stood up a division very quickly once that project became assigned to the Bureau of Engineering. I'm proud of all that work that we did in spite of the fact that when I started in this role, we talked about the tough budget times. We were just starting to implement a really difficult budget situation. And the team did a great job of managing that, responding to that, adjusting our workload to still be able to deliver all the projects and services that we do for the city of Los Angeles. So I'm incredibly proud of the effort of the Bureau of Engineering team to support me, and I appreciate all the work that they've done to help during this time. And of course, I want to express my appreciation to my family, my wife Jessica. I've got my nephew Matthew, my son Kevin, my son Aiden. I couldn't do this without them, right? And my wife in particular takes care of all the things at home, so I have less to worry about. I can really focus on the job, which really frees me up quite a bit to be able to do that, and I appreciate all the support they provided me over this last year and all the prior years as well. So once again, I want to thank you. I'm really overwhelmed by all this, appreciation. So I thank you for taking the time to recognize me. And I look forward to continuing to work and support the Bureau and provide services to the City of LA. Thank you again.
So on behalf of the Board of Public Works sincerely thank Alfred Mata for his excellent leadership in the role of City Engineer and General Manager of the Bureau of Engineering over the past year. Your selfless leadership ensured exceptional project and program delivery, inspired confidence, and upheld the city's mission during this transitional period. Your commitment to your employees was also noted and deeply appreciated by all those who had the privilege to work with you. We deeply appreciate your tireless service and the positive impact you have made on our city and the Department of Public Works. Congratulations. So with that, let's head over to the steps for a group photo. We'll take a brief recess. The time is 10:26 a.m.
Outside? Outside? Okay, we're outside.
Ms. Reyes, if you want to reestablish quorum for us.
Yes. President Kang, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, Commissioner Mitchell, Commissioner Cardenas, we have quorum.
Thank you very much. We're going to take general public comment, but before that, just wanted to inform everybody of the order. So after public comment, we'll invite June, our new head of Bureau of Sanitation, for her update, and then we'll go back to the regular agenda. So with that, at this time, we'll get started with general public comment, which is an opportunity for the public to address the board on public interest items, and will be provided up to 1 minute per person, up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes for the general public comment segment of each regular meeting. Testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works. The board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. We have James Duncan, but I believe that's for later. Or are you here for general public comment, sir? Okay. Please come up, and then we'll transition to our virtual callers.
Good morning, commissioners and President King. I'm James Duncan. I retired as a superintendent after 34 years of city service. I acted as an acting superintendent, believe it or not, for 10 consecutive years. I acted as a superintendent for 10 consecutive years. I was promised before I retired that I would get paid for that acting, but I didn't get paid. I've filed a complaint back in 2019 with My Voice LA. It never got answered. It just sat with the directors with the director till I retired. And I had medical conditions. I had to retire. Could not get my catastrophic illness time approved. So I just had to retire, and so that my wife and I can go to the doctor. I gave you guys some information. This stuff is still going on. It's a lot. It's really bad. So I would like the board the commissioners to have the managers at public city street services pay me what they owe me, and I would like to talk to you guys later. I'll be back on Monday and Wednesday because I don't have enough time.
Thank you very much. We'll definitely look into it. Let's transition to our virtual callers.
Yes, we have Audit LA. Audit, go ahead.
Good morning. Since we have the Bureau of Engineering here, I just want to continue to ask them to please continue looking into the revocation request of L. Ron Hubbard Way of their R permit. They have not, I can't see anywhere where they have abided by that permit. They have absolutely abused that permit. They got the city to grant them a no parking based on, because they don't want dirty bricks. Yet we have 3 major hospitals, a metro center. The hospital's expanding drastically, and then housing is going up at a very fast rate. They need parking. But the bigger problem is the abuse of it, where they act like they own that street and basically terrorize, it seems, people who want to just walk down or go down a public street. People should not be at war or trying to have to figure out or make phone calls to see whether or not they have access to a street. So since Scientology has not been able to abide and be a good neighbor, they're a horrible neighbor. And they have not been, it has not benefited the community at all to have this R permit. Okay, it's actually hindered the community. I'm asking you, Mr. Mata, Ms. Lee, to please do the right thing by the community, okay? Because it's for the greater community, the neighbors, the neighborhood. It's not all about what Scientology wants. They want pretty bricks.
Thank you, Audit. That's time.
Thank you.
Next, we have Gigi. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's always so much confusion when it comes to the permits on L. Ron Hubbard Way. And an easy way to solve that would be for someone, to send an email and just tag a bunch of people in it. Send it to Northeast Division of LAPD, send it to Hugo's office, send it to the neighborhood council. Let people in the neighborhood know what the permit is, because it's not trustworthy to just have LAPD show up and then someone representing Scientology to show some papers that say they have a permit and then they don't even have a permit. It wasn't approved. So what's going on there? They need to you need to work with everyone, and everyone needs to know what's going on, especially LAPD Northeast Division. You need to coordinate with them more with these special event permits. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Laura FM. Laura, go ahead.
Good morning, board. So yeah, we're just, again, we're calling in asking if there's a way that you can see that we've obviously been calling several years now asking you to stop giving Scientology any permits. You've had people call that live on L. Ron Hubbard Way, which I hate calling it L. Ron Hubbard Way. I wish you would bring it back to North Berendo Street. As we know, the Sea Org indentured servants manipulated the city and changed that street specifically so that they can take over and control and seem like they own that whole area. They do not own that street. They pretend they do. They control people, they harass people, and they entrap their own indentured servants like myself as a child born and raised in the slavery of this organization, the C organization that does all the public work on the sidewalks, getting $47 a week, signing a billion-year contract under major duress and stress 24/7, hiding behind a religious
Laura.
status. They
That's
have
time.
no rights.
President Kang, we do have 3 people with their hands up.
Yes, please.
Georgina McPhee, do you have public comment today?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Can
go
you
ahead.
hear me? Thank you. Yeah, they stole that street. They went out in the middle of the night and painted that curb red. They got petitioned to name the street L. Ron Hubbard Way under wrong information. They said all these people live there for just people coming to take a class. So they all signed this petition, got the name changed. Why do we have a street named after a religious leader of any sort, whether you think it's a cult or not? We don't have a Muhammad way. What happened to separation of church and state? It's preposterous that we have allowed an entity, a civic group of whatever nature you want to consider them, to just steal public property. Even the local police thinks this is a private street. It needs to be addressed. You need to do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Henry, do you have public comment today?
Yes, just general public comment. And I want to start off by saying thank you to this board for your professional mentorship and really helping me unravel the true end game of all this, and that is government bonds. It is because of your nonstop moronic behavior with Scientology that have been able to work out all of the different interconnections, from the Del Richardson company with Kern Price's wife to the LA Alliance case with Con Skolnick, who's a Federalist Society member who's representing both the city and LawFlow, which is a conflict of interest, to the homeless housing, illegal construction, and to the various commercial real estate brokers that some of you are tied in, some of your predecessors are tied in, some of the council members are tied in, and some of the federal and even DA people are all tied in. And so I want to thank you for being so stupid and continuing to being so moronic to this day that you won't even take care of a street permit, because I have now been able to build my magnum opus and connect all of this together to government bonds, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. It's money. And I hope to see some of you on August 6th at the Alliance case here.
Next, we have, Lionel Morris, do you have public comment today?
Yes, good morning, Commissioner. Lionel Morris speaking in my own personal capacity. It's great to see the city family. I would like to echo the comments made by Out of LA and Laura FM, because I do sympathize with them 100%. For my general public comment, I've been following the Charter Reform Commission for the past 8 and 9 months. I, alongside Rob Kwan and other Fair Rep LA, Unrig LA, and other Charter Reform advocates, have been advocating for the streamlining of the planning department, public works, in order to expedite repairing our broken sidewalks, potholes in our streets, especially in neighborhoods that are underserved or impoverished, like in Council District 6, where I am a stakeholder in Imelda Padilla's district. And I live in a community neighborhood in Sun Valley, District 6, that there are broken sidewalks, not enough shade, infrastructure, bus stops, not enough shade in the bus stops, or not enough trees. or the trees that are here are not fed properly. They don't have sufficient water on the bike path along San Fernando Road. Because
Thank you.
part
I
of Sun
know that's
Valley
time.
is industrialized.
That concludes public comment.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close general public comment portion of today's meeting and move on to multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item public comment period, up to a minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you'll speak on when you are called. Let's transition to our virtual callers.
Gigi, go ahead.
I don't know why you skipped audit, but okay. So I guess I want to speak on the election or whatever. I know my voice doesn't matter. I know my opinion doesn't matter. But if I could pick, I really think that Commissioner Mitchell would be a really good president. And I really think that Vice President Chavez has been doing really good and should be the VP. But no one ever listens to us. Like I've been through this like several times. But I remember when back in the end of 2024, the rules were changing, and I brought up we should be able to talk after the item, and Commissioner Mitchell spoke up and said that's the fair thing. Like we should let them listen to the item first. And President Corson said no, don't worry about it. It's whatever. And then the rules changed, and they are what they are. But Judge Mitchell, Commissioner Mitchell, she would be an awesome president. As far as the minutes go, just please do something about it already. Like it's not that hard. And with that, I yield my time.
Thank you. Audit, did you have multiple agenda items today to speak about?
Yeah, I said that in the beginning when you first asked.
Okay,
But
my apologies. Go ahead.
it's okay. Okay, I'm starting now. Yeah, I want to talk about number one. Well, everyone, I think I'm pretty obvious. My absolute favorite is Commissioner Grant, because he is the person who is the most friendly and interacting. Like he makes you feel like you're important, and I appreciate that. And don't give him heck for that, because it's not that I have anything against anyone else. I actually appreciate all of you for good and for bad. I mean, there's things that need to be improved, but I appreciate you. President Kang, I do feel that things have improved some in our plate since you've taken over. And I appreciate that when Laura was just first finding her voice, and it was very hard for her, that you took the time and sat and listened to her, outside of the meeting, and just gave her that time. So I will forever appreciate you for that. I just want you to do more. I would hope you could do more. And I wish you would respond. I wish you would have set the stage to respond to what we are asking. If we send you an email, or if we send you something, that you would just say, receive, processing, something. And then Commissioner Cardenas, I don't know you yet, and I didn't realize that Tony Cardenas is your brother. And I actually have a good working relationship with your brother. I wish he was still in the same office. He's helped me help Mike and stakeholders so many times. We even did a little video together. I appreciate you. I just want to get to know you better. And Judge Mitchell, yes, I think you're so respectful. I think you're just, I would love to see you, take more charge too. I really do appreciate you. And Ms. Chavez, I appreciate you. When that one time when Laura and I went to a meeting and we were confused where we were going, we got there late, but you voted to let us, because we missed public speaking, and you voted for us to be able to do it. And I appreciate that. The only thing is, I just wish that you and sometimes it seems like you seem disinterested. You're typing, you're not looking. Sometimes it feels like you're very distant, or I don't know, there's just that disconnect. And so I just want to bring that up. But I do appreciate you all. But then I want to go to the last thing about the contracts. Again, I'm going to keep talking about contracts with regards to L. Ron Hubbard Way. The R permit is a contract. They are not abiding by that contract. It should be revoked. They are not abiding by the contracts of the special permits that you have given them. And that should be revoked, especially since they had an event without a permit. And I know it was a different company that applied for it, but it was all Scientology. You have the proof of all that all their footprint on that event. And
Thank you, Audit.
yeah,
That's time.
thank you.
And next we have Laura FM. Laura, go ahead.
Good morning, board. So yeah, I first just want to speak on the elections here. Honestly, I'm going to vote for all of you as my own personal opinion, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't even have a voice to be upset at the Public Works for giving Scientology permits at all. You guys have been listening to us for 3 years. President King, I appreciate you. Whether you think I do or not, I really do. I just have moments where I have to be heard. But I'm very glad that you guys are on the board and that you all, Grant, Mitchell, all you guys have done what you have done. And even just hearing the voices of the children of Scientology or the adults that were children once, and seeing how it relates with Public Works and just holding your jobs as professionally as you can. And I'm sure, because Scientology likes to infiltrate and fear people of their positions in, neighborhood councils and public work boards and wherever. So I do appreciate, again, that you even listen. And I vote for you all, because if it weren't for you right now, I don't think I would have been talking to anybody. So I appreciate you, and I really do thank you for listening. And it might be tough sometimes. I might say some harsh things, but you know my intention, and you know it's good, and you know it's fair. And so as long as we can somehow uncorruptly, not let Scientology continue getting these permits or show that they really are just abusing each of them, then I would vote for you guys as long as we can to keep hopefully maintaining some sort of relationship where this actually continues to get exposed and fixed. And then again, I want to just talk on the minutes. As part of this, maybe this year, we can make it a goal to get reflect that when people are calling in or when they show up in person at the meetings, that it just shows and states what, a five-word sentence of what they were speaking about. That would make a big change and a big reflect in paperwork that we're submitting to for lawsuits and stuff like that, to show that we as an individual did try to, on our part, do what we could to expose, Scientology's infiltration of the city legally and all of that. So we appreciate you. Please please put it on the agenda this week, or maybe next week if it's possible, to revoke that L. Ron Hubbard permit. And then if we can notify the neighborhood councils to be a part of this. I still don't hear anything from them. Scientology's infiltrating all the cities of Los Angeles, so the neighborhood councils should be aware of this infiltration, because a lot of people on the neighborhood councils boards are very much aware of
Thank you, Laura.
Scientology's
That's time.
abuses.
And we have 2 more people with their hands up.
Yes, please.
Georgina McPhee.
Hi, thank you. I'm going to start with the minutes and then move on to a few agenda items. The minutes need to reflect what we're calling in about. You don't even have them researchable. Your YouTube channel has everything with the exact same title. It just says LA Board of Public Works meeting. Well, how are you supposed to find anything? How are you supposed to research anything? You need to do better. You need to include these items on the minutes, or at the very least, update your system for your YouTube so that these things are researchable. As for the contracts, the fact that you are requiring public citizens, to submit contracts, obey the contracts, have insurance, have inspections, all of that, but you don't hold Scientology to those same standards. They turn in the permits late so that they can't be researched, so they can't be scrutinized, so the neighborhood can't be informed, the police can't be informed. The police think that's a private street. How is this acceptable? It needs to be addressed. You need to do better. Thank you. I yield back my time.
Thank you. And Lionel, would you like to speak today?
Yes, good morning, commissioners. Thank you. Lionel Mars speaking in my own personal capacity. Items 1 and item 6, please. For item 1, I would like to thank all the commissioners, Steve, Kang, Commissioner Jenny Chavez, John Grant, Fate Mitchell, and Ernesto Cardenas. Thank you. I'd like to thank all of you for your public engagement and public service to our city of Los Angeles. I saw Mr. Commissioner Kang at the Earth Day event and District 5, Katie Yosowski's 10th annual Earth Day event. And thank you for the food. I really appreciate it very much. It's great to see you there with a happy face. So I really appreciate our commissioners coming out to our communities. And I hope that the new election officers will continue with the public service, community engagement with neighborhood councils, the charter reform process, streamlining our government structure so we could get the services that we're paying for. For item 6, contracts, I am big on ethics and ethics commission, and I do like researching things like that. So I will continue to support and urge you to keep things transparent and accessible to the public, because there are people like me out there who do enjoy researching contracts and via the ethics commission and things like that to see who's the system, how it works. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Have a lovely weekend. Stay cool out there. It's gonna be very hot. And power to the people, my friend. We will make LA great again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that concludes multiple agenda items.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close multiple item public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with the approval of minutes for Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. I'll move. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you. And we'll do a roll call for the minutes. President Kang?
Aye.
Vice President Chavez?
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant?
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell? Commissioner Cardenas?
Aye.
All ayes. Minutes are approved.
Thank you very much. We'll go to item number 5, Bureau Heads Update, today from the Bureau of Sanitation. So I want to introduce our new General Manager, Ms. June Kim Lopez.
Good morning. It's great to see everyone. Thank you, President Kang. And it was such an opportunity and a privilege for me to meet all the commissioners. And I look forward to spending time with you and your team to make sure that your expectations and some of your areas of concerns are being addressed very timely and thoroughly. Today, I am joined by my leadership team. I have a whole big support system there, and they're here just in case there are questions that I'm not able to answer, this being my first week. And I can't think of a better way to wrap up my first week than do my very first report. So thank you for that opportunity. I also wanted to recognize Sarai, who is on vacation, very well deserved, for having served as our interim general manager. So it's been a really wonderful experience. It's been short, but I was very fortunate enough to be brought a little bit earlier on in 4th of July with the Boyle Heights issue. So I feel like I got a little chance to get a head start, and it's been really a wonderful experience working with the LA San team, but also the different bureaus, the different departments. It's been a very welcoming and great experience. So I thank you for all of that. So speaking of Boyle Heights, I want to start with that update. There's a lot going on, and we have been all over it. As you know, there are multiple facets of this operation that affect and is served by LA Sanitation. So starting with day one, from the beginning of the fire, we had our team out there, and it was active fire suppression, but from day one, we had 24/7 coverage, our environmental compliance inspectors, we had our operations staff out there with Vector trucks, just to see how we can assist, making sure that we protect the community, that we protect LA River, that we protect our system that serves so many of our customers. And that hasn't changed. We are still there 24/7. And as a matter of fact, starting July 3rd, we ramped up the level of our presence on site. So our assistant division manager and up all the way to myself, we have been on site, rotating 12-hour shifts, which I know they absolutely enjoyed. But it was helpful because the situation is so fluid. There are things happening real time, and being able to make those critical decisions and also being ready when problems happen. And I'll show just a quick example. On the site there's a 42,000 cubic yard infiltration basin underground, and that is to capture all the water at the Lineage site, which is about 500,000 square feet. Now, this was designed for rainwater capture, not for this kind of devastation. So you can imagine the influx of water and all the other debris and material, the rotting foods that are coming in. So there's essentially two plugs that keep the integrity of that basin, and those did fail. So we responded very accordingly to make sure that we found solutions with them and to make sure that, again, we had our equipment and staff on the ready just in case we had an overflow situation. Happy to report that that hasn't happened. We were able to get a temporary storage unit so that we could have that overflow go into that, monitoring the levels. But this is just some of the examples that I wanted to share about the importance of being on site to see these real-time issues that arise. But we also coordinated very closely with our county public health department as well as regional board. It's been a very collaborative, cooperative effort. Again, we all have the common purpose of protecting the environment and protecting our communities. On the solid resources side, you can imagine with 85 million pounds of rotting food and burnt debris, what that smells, looks, and feels like. And we wanted to make sure that we were monitoring. That wasn't our role because it's a private property. It's up to Lineage to make sure that they dispose of all of that. But we did assist connecting them to some of the networks that we had with landfills. We made sure that they had appropriate waste characterization, decontamination, again, to make sure that they were in compliance, but also protecting our residents and businesses in that community. And last but not least, pests, rats, flies, maggots. I've learned a lot more about this category than before. And it was something, as you can imagine, affects our community, the residents and the businesses that are there. And when the action from Lineage was not fast enough or to the level that was expected, we did step in to provide relief. And we continue to do that and see what further opportunities exist, working with both the mayor's office and Council District 14. We have also done very targeted, frequent activities, such as power washing of the sidewalks, removing animal feces, making sure that we are working with the residents and businesses to have receptacles that are in good condition. And these are just some of the things, again, that we have elevated to make sure that whatever we can do to mitigate, we are doing. So there's a lot of work still to be done. We have calls. We used to have calls 2 a day, but now it's gone to 1 a day. And most recently this week, it's gone 3 times a week. And we continue to press Lineage to do the right thing and making sure, again, we have a safe environment. So a lot of work still remains to be done, and we still keep our presence on there to make sure that we do our part as LA Sanitation to serve our communities. And by the way, if there's any questions along the way, please feel free to stop me. Second, the World Cup, FIFA. It was a great success, and I tracked all the emails that were going back and forth, and what a great coordination with our agency, but other departments, other bureaus, and really happy to report, as you all are aware, that it went without incident. So before these events, we did the pre-sweeping. After events, we did all the cleanup. As events like Kick It in the Park, when there were different events, we made sure that we provided the right receptacles, right support. But, calls were coming in, and my staff could really, they shared this with me. Staff would get calls, oh, we need this done, we need that done. And being able to sort of jump to the situation and deliver is what we were able to do. And we're so happy that it went well. And it was really a great primer for a lot of the other major events coming up, including the Olympics, the Paralympics. So we will be debriefing that to see what worked, what are some of the things that we want to add on. But it's been a very good coordination for the event. Recicla. I'm not going to get into too much of the detail. I am getting the details, and staff has done an outstanding job of providing me a very extensive briefing in a very short amount of time. There's a lot of background. There's a lot of information that's there. There's a lot of impact to our customers. So I want to make sure that I'm fully well on board to understand what those impacts look like and making sure that we get the best deals for our customer, for our city. And so this is something that we continue to move forward. Very aware of the timeline that the council has set, that you all are aware of, and really trying to deliver the right outcome for our city. Hyperion. And it's really amazing. Somebody told me that the footprint of Hyperion is equal to just the footprint of Disneyland. And you think about it being 132 years old. That's quite a bit. That takes a lot of work. And the staff and our community and working with all of our partners, we have been through a lot at that facility. So there's a lot of work to be done, and we are doing better. We are improving, and I really give so much credit to all the people that are involved, because we just can't do it alone as staff. We need your support. We need support of our partners, and it has been very positive. I was fortunate enough to be there before I started when we had the U.S. EPA Administrator, Lee Zeldin, visit our site. And we were able to give him a tour, and he came with quite the entourage, so that was really great, along with members from Region 9, to be able to see the work that we have done, and also to get their support, because these are critical infrastructure, and a lot of times out of sight, out of mind, but this is the facility that serves majority of our residents and businesses. And so when we think about line breaks, water line breaks, imagine if the toilets don't work. Imagine if the sewage backs up. So this is very critical, and we take it very seriously to make sure that we have both the reliability and the resiliency, and we can't do that without people and without funding. And I'm happy to report that we are looking at congressional funding, $4 million through Senator Adam Schiff, and also additional $800,000. So we need a lot more, but something is better than nothing. So we are aggressively moving on all fronts to secure those funding above and beyond the rates that we collect. We will be having a tour for all the congressional staff members who are able to make it August 10th. And that is something that I know Vice President Chavez, you will be joining us and speaking to the group. Appreciate that. And that way we can continue to put ourselves on their radar. Funding is tough, funding is competitive, but these kinds of opportunities to make those connections and help people see and understand would be great. We also had a chance to showcase our Pure Water LA, the work that we're doing with the advanced purification on site. I had the opportunity to attend the Climate Cabinet meeting, and again, Vice President Chavez was there. And it was a very good meeting, partnership with LADWP, LA SAN, and just talking through all the ways that we could be more integrated in the work that we do. There's been a lot of work up to this point, so we've got a strong foundation, but what is it going to take to get through the finish line? So making sure that we understand what the project is and is not, making sure that we engage our customers and stakeholders so that everybody's on the same page, and we have a project that we could all line up behind to get the funding that is needed. But it's really an exciting opportunity to be able to be part of that, because again, LA leads in so many ways, and this is the project that really would meet the mayor's climate action goals, but really serve the need that we have as we think about the scarcity and the reducing scarcity of water. I'm sure you've seen reports about the Colorado River, and it's not looking good anytime soon. So these kinds of strategies are absolutely critical to ensure that the needs are met for today and for the future. Clean Corridor Program. I was really hoping that KYCC would stay. So we did launch this week. And again, I had a chance to be involved in a lot of things, which is great. And staff has directed me here and there. But the Clean Corridors program, which has been a great partnership with LA Sanitation, Council District 1, with Bureau of Street Services, and all the nonprofit and community-based organizations that are out there, and KYCC being one of them. So we had this launch, and there's a lot of excitement in the air at our Livability Service Division, and just to see the collaboration, the technology and the utilization of both the Clean Street, the Litter Index. It was really great to see how those two things work together, but we also want to elevate that. We have set such a solid, strong foundation. But really the takeaway for me was seeing this sort of the human cooperation and the interaction as we leverage technology. So I hope to report a lot of good things coming forward from there. And then President Kong, thank you for attending our career development. We had about 60 of our employees in this part of this cohort. We believe in cultivating, developing our employees, as well as creating the pipeline of talent to fill the vacancies and making sure that we have the resources, the people that we need to do the hard work. So we really appreciate that kind of leadership support in developing our employees. So I'm sure you heard about the Super El Nino. It's coming, and every year from October to April, as you're aware, we gear up for the wet weather season, and we are definitely doing that plus, because we know that especially in the areas like Palisades, you just expect a lot of stuff to happen. We also are mindful of Boyle Heights and other parts of our city. So I'm making sure that we are looking at all the debris that are there to try to clean as much as possible. We have an exercise, we have a protocol, and making sure that all the staff is, again, refreshed and trained and being out there to mitigate any of the impacts. There will be impacts, but these kinds of preparations certainly make it better than had we not. And again, we appreciate your support. Our Livability Service Division, we continue to do the work, being out there at MacArthur Park, working with all the different council districts. For this quarter, we have total of 12 Insight Safe operation. We implemented and 12 of those. Total to date, we have 135, our involvement in Insight Safe operation. We also have our open house, and we had 5. We had Northridge, Watts, West LA, San Pedro, and this is where we invite the public to come in and see all the things that we do, see the big truck and see all the sustainability programs, have a little food and be able to feel that community. And we had total of 5,500 amongst those different events, so that's a really great number, and it continues to be very popular. Our employees certainly enjoy being there, interacting with the public, and being able to showcase and show off the great work that we do for our communities. Last but not least, we are going to launch a new website. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm very excited to get the preview, but it's always evolving because this is the tool that is outward facing to engage, to create interactions with our customers and stakeholders. So I can't wait to see it. And as always, we appreciate your feedback and your ideas. We want to be very responsive to you, to our communities, and we can't do that by ourselves. And so for me, people serving people is very important. We are in a very technical business. Utility and solid resource is very technical. But at the end of the day, we provide essential service that everyone relies on, that everyone needs. So we always put people first and know where our service priorities are. And we have great people. And I'm hoping to get more great people through the talent pipeline and build up the organization that has such a great history. And then when it comes to resources, we know that times are tight. So utilizing innovation, streamlining efforts, collaboration, there might be opportunities to realize better ways to maximize our resources. And one of the things that I've already had a conversation with the other bureaus, and we all agree. And as you know, Deputy Mayor Green has really sort of emphasizes the bureaus working together in a way that's very integrated. And I feel like I'm coming in at such a perfect time to really be a part of that effort. And last but not least, the relationships. I always say I don't know what I don't know, and would truly appreciate everyone saying these are the folks that you need to meet. This is the group that you need to interact with, because we can't do this alone. And all these partnerships is the true power of what we do and how we do it. And it has served me well for all my life. And again, I just want to put that out there and hope that you will help us to be more of the presence in the communities and doing the work that you expect us to do. So thank you.
Thank you very much for that thorough presentation. So I do want to open it up to questions and comments from commissioners. Commissioner Cardenas.
Yes, thank you. And again, thank you for that very comprehensive report. Just, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, how's the schedule going for the lineage cleanup? I know that's on a lot of people's minds, and it was, I don't want to speak for you, so how's that coming?
It's been very hard to get a timeline from them. As you are aware, the executive order said August 14th. That is the date when the 45-day expires. Will they get there? And again, I will speak from my own observation. I was out there last night. I think that it's going to be challenging, but it depends on the strategy. So I know there's a lot of discussions about that right now. Yesterday, there was a meeting that the mayor convened with CD14 Councilmember Jurado, Senator Durazo, and then members from Supervisor Hilda Solis' office. So the political will, the collaboration, again, all the departments working together, we want to make sure that timeline is met and making sure that we apply the right mechanism to do so. But I don't have a timeline because we've not been able to get that from them.
Okay. Well, if you can keep us posted on that, I'm sure the board and the community would appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions or comments related to today's presentation? Vice President Chavez.
Thank you, President Kane. Well, I wanted to take this moment of personal privilege to welcome June formally to Public Works, the Public Works team here. You have certainly inherited a full plate upon your arrival. It's the title of one of my favorite movies in recent years is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, and that perfectly describes what this is. But I know with your over 3 decades of public service, you understand the challenges that public agencies face. Now, this is a little bit on a different scale. Bureau of Sanitation is very unique, and I'm sure you know that. It's not just a matter of the degree, but also the breadth of services that this bureau handles from anywhere from, I know that you're familiar with water and wastewater, but just all the solid resources and everything that's coming down the pipe, if you will, with Recicla. There is a lot, but I did want to, I know that you are well aware of what you're walking into, but I also want to make sure that you know that you have an excellent senior team that is here, and they're the ones who have been holding everything together through the various iterations of leadership in the Bureau. And I would say the best leaders that I have worked with in my over 2 decades in city government are not the ones with the most answers. They're the ones who ask the most questions, and then they actually listen to what comes back. And your team will tell you the truth if you make it safe for them to tell you the truth. Ask them what's broken. Ask them what they've been trying to fix for years without the authority to fix it, and then bring it to this board and let us do something about it. And so that's my charge to you, and I wanted to extend my support and this board's support. Tell us what you need. Tell us what's not working, and welcome to Public Works.
Thank you so much, Vice President Chavez. And I so much appreciate that comment because you will hear those things. And already staff has been very helpful in understanding where do we need the work. And working with you to get those things done is what I really look forward to. Thank you.
All right. Well, with that, thank you very much. It's not every day that we have our new general manager and the entire leadership at LA San. So I do want to I would love to take this opportunity to take a group photo, whether it's for the website or otherwise, just for us to have it. Let's go to the steps really quick, and then we'll resume the rest of our meeting. Thank you very much. The time is 11:21 a.m.
Yes, Morse.
All right, Ms. Reyes, if you want to reestablish quorum for us.
Yes, President Kang, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, Commissioner Mitchell, Commissioner Cardenas, we have quorum.
Thank you very much. We'll now transition to item number 6, status of all contracts and policy number 793, update.
Hi, good morning. My name is Christian Guerrero from the Bureau of Engineering, Wastewater, and Conveyance Construction Division. And I'm here today to present the Bureau's construction order report for the period of April 1st, 2026 to June 30, 2026. So the report before you provides the aggregate listing of construction orders up to $150,000 per construction services contracts. And I will now go over the report. On page 1, for municipal facilities and related projects, there are no items to report for this period. For the emergency, geotechnical, and structural, there are no items to report for this period. For street improvement, no items to report for this period. And for emergency storm drain repairs, there are 23 construction orders for a total amount issued of $1,056,734.19. For emergency demolition services, there are no items to report for this period. For emergency construction and repair services at water treatment plants, no items to report for this period. And then finally, for emergency sewer repairs, there are 145 construction orders issued for this period for a total amount issued of $5,761,823. And this concludes my quarterly report, and I'll answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Any other bureaus related to item number 6? All right.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Danny Chen from the Bureau of Street Services, and I'm here to present the status of all contracts report for the quarter from April to June 2026. So during this reporting period, the Bureau had a total of 23 current and pending contracts, with 3 amended contracts, 8 pending contracts, and 1 contract expiring within 90 days. For tosses, we currently have a total of 13 tosses, with 3 tosses awarded during this reporting period. Once again, we'd like to thank the Bureau of Engineering for allowing us to use their on-call contracts to issue these tosses. We just have one update to the report. In pending contracts number 3 on page number 7, for industrial hygiene laboratory services with EMSL Analytical Incorporated, doing business as LA Testing. This has received approval from the mayor, and on July 13th of 2026, this board has approved the contract, and on July 21st has fully executed the contract. So it is now an active contract. That concludes my report, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Good morning, John Patterson with LA Sanitation and Environment, delivering the quarterly report for LA Sanitation. Our total contract amount billed for the fourth quarter for 2026 was $18,668,107. Of that, approximately $3.8 million was to our legacy MBE WBE outreach program contracts, of which we still currently have 1 in process, and $14.8 million was towards our business inclusion program contracts. Under the legacy MBE WBE program, we had $0 going towards our MBE subcontractors. This is just for the last quarter. We had $960,859 going to our certified women-owned business enterprises and $339,768 going to our other business enterprise subcontractors. The total amount to the subcontractors was actually 34.2% of that total amount spent under for the last quarter for the MBE WBE program. For the business inclusion program, the current program, we had approximately 197,000 towards our minority business enterprises, 709,000 towards our women-owned business enterprises, 1.4 million to our small business enterprises, and 830,000 to our emerging business enterprises. 84,000 to our disabled veteran-owned business enterprises, and 896, close to 897,000 towards our other business enterprises. Total amount to the subcontractors under the BIP program was 15.7%. We do have 4 clean water contracts that will be expiring within the next 9 months, and none of those will be renewed. We did release RFPs, and contract negotiations are already underway, if not going through ED3 right now. We have 2 contracts for biosolids management, one with Denali Water Solutions and one with Synagro. They'll be expiring in August 20. And we have 2 sewer condition assessment services contracts, one with National Plant Services and one with Professional Pipe Services, and they will be expiring in October 18 and November 9. We also have 2 solid resources contracts expiring within the next 9 months. The contract with EST companies for repair and maintenance of automated vehicle wash facilities will not be renewed. Contracts negotiations with a new proposer are already underway. And the contract with the on-site truck wash for mobile fleet washing, it will be renewed, and that one is expiring in October 18. That concludes LA Sanitation's quarterly report. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments for sanitation? I think we're good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too. Any other bureaus related to item number 6? All right. I think we're good. All right. Then moving back to agenda item number 1, annual election and appointment of officers. I'll turn it over to Ms. Reyes to facilitate.
Yes, good morning again. I'm Acting Executive Officer Sandy Reyes, and this is the only time during the year where the Executive Officer acts as presiding officer to conduct annual elections. Item number 1 on today's agenda is the annual election of officers for the Board of Public Works. As required by the City Charter and pursuant to the Board of Public Works, the board shall elect one of its members as president and one member as vice president, respectively, by majority vote, by open ballot. Commissioners, at this time, I will take any nominations that you have for the position of President of the Board of Public Works for the remainder of fiscal year 2026, 2027. Are there any nominations at this time?
I rise to nominate Steve King, whose industriousness, dedication, who wears the Board of Public Works on his sleeve, has, I think, been unsurpassed in his work revitalizing the board, navigating the rocky shoals of the City Charter Commission, those opposed to democracy, but has really, from his work from FMLA to upholding and safeguarding public comment, I think it's the kind of leadership that this board needs now and in the future. And I proudly nominate Steve King for President of the Board of Public Works.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Grant and Commissioner Cardenas for seconding that motion. Before we hear deliberations on this motion, I will ask if there are any other nominations for this position. Seeing no other nominations, is there any discussion on this motion? Is there any opposition to this motion? Seeing no opposition, we will go ahead and take a roll call vote on the nomination of Commissioner Kang for the position of President of the Board of Public Works. Commissioner Cardenas?
Aye.
Commissioner Grant?
Aye.
Commissioner Chavez?
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell? Aye. Okay, this vote to elect President Kang of the Board of Public Works for the remainder of fiscal year 2026-2027 is unanimous. Congratulations, President Kang.
Thank you. Thank you, colleagues, for your confidence and appreciate the unanimous vote. Thank you very much.
At this time, I will move forward with the next election of officers and take any nominations for the position of Vice President of the Board of Public Works.
I rise to nominate Commissioner Jenny Chavez for the position of Vice President. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Cardenas and Commissioner Grant, for seconding that nomination and motion. Before we hear deliberations on this motion, I will ask if there are any other nominations for the position of Vice President. Seeing no other nominations, is there any discussion on this motion? Is there any opposition to this motion? Seeing no opposition, we will take a roll call vote on the nomination of Commissioner Jenny Chavez to the position of Vice President of the Board of Public Works. Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
Commissioner Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. President Kang.
Aye.
Okay. The vote to elect Vice President Jenny Chavez of the Board of Public Works for the remainder of fiscal year 2026-2027 has passed. Congratulations, Vice President Jenny Chavez.
For the record, I'd like to note my aye vote for myself.
I'm sorry, yes. Thank you, everyone, for being here this morning. At this time, it is my honor to pass the chair back over to newly elected Board of Public Works President, President Kang.
Thank you very much, colleagues. At this time, I have the utmost honor of appointing our fellow colleague, Commissioner John Grant, to continue his excellent tenure as President Pro Tem of the Board of Public Works. So with that, I believe we can move to the rest of our agenda. I'm going to move item number 4 into consent. So items 2, 3, and 4, I'll move. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Mitchell.
One moment, please. Okay, thank you. We will do a roll call vote for item 2 and 3.
And 4.
And 4. President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and these items move forthwith. President Kang, we do have to circle back to agenda item 1 to take a vote on the election. So we'll do a roll call vote for that election. President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and this item is approved forthwith.
Thank you very much. I believe that concludes our items for today's meeting.
Yes, it does.
Thank you very much. Our next meeting of the Board of Public Works is scheduled for Monday, August 3rd, 2026. The meeting is now adjourned at 11:42 a.m.